Announced back in 2016, Merlin's Mayhem was scheduled to open in 2017, but unfortunately delays in construction and other various issues that developed along the way kept this from opening until 2018. During the 2019 summer season, I took my family to Dutch Wonderland, mostly to check out this family suspended coaster by S&S. I managed to get a few rides on this coaster, so I think I'm ready to provide my review. Presentation. Having never been to Dutch Wonderland, I didn't know what to expect in terms of theming and atmosphere. Well, most of Dutch Wonderland is very well kept and nicely themed to a magical kingdom. Merlin's Mayhem keeps up with a decent theming, loaded with detail that I wasn't expecting, especially from a smaller park. The queue area is very well themed, presenting you the story of Mayhem, which is a little dragon of Merlin that likes to cause mischief. By the time you enter the station building, you are informed that Mayhem has gone missing and it's up to you to track him down. Inside, the station is very well done, including the magical doors that open when it's time to ride. There are a few effects throughout the ride experience, mostly inside the tunnel that you dive through after completing a helix. Overall, I was very impressed with the amount of detail that went into this attraction. If there is anything that I would ding against this coaster on presentation, it would be the outside structure of the station. It's basically a warehouse-looking structure which doesn't mesh with any of the other details inside. I'm giving Merlin's Mayhem a score of 9.5 for presentation. Ride intensity. Being a family coaster, I wasn't expecting this roller coaster to be intense, which for the most part, it's rather tame. However, there's one notable spot that does deliver some strong G's, and that's during the helix before diving into the tunnel. This moment took me off guard, but in a good way. I think the level intensity is tame enough for younger riders to enjoy, also providing enough force to keep the older ones engaged. The minimum height requirement is only 39 inches, which is very impressive even for a family coaster. I'm giving Merlin a score of 5 for ride intensity. Fun factor. Merlin's Mayhem is a great example of a roller coaster not needing to be super intense to be fun. I had a blast riding this coaster. Every turn and dip was exciting, providing some neat views, feet choppers, and as I said earlier, a couple spots of strong forces. The roller coaster weaves itself through the park's chairlift ride, providing some neat interactions. I took a spin on the sky ride and had a blast watching Merlin's Mayhem weaving all around us. Since it was a slow day at the park, I had the opportunity to ride this roller coaster multiple times. The front row was the best, mostly because it has the unhindered view, but the back does provide a little more width, making it slightly more intense. Merlin's Mayhem gets a score of 8 for the fun factor. Originality. This is a tough category to rank. On one hand, this ride is rather unique, mostly because of the theming, but on the other hand, this isn't the first family suspended coaster ever built. These models have been getting rather popular, and we're seeing more family suspended roller coasters being built by various manufacturers. I think a score of 5 for originality sounds fair. Ride smoothness. Being a couple years old, I would expect Merlin's Mayhem to be butter smooth. Unfortunately, it's not glossy smooth. There is a noticeable rattle to it. Some might consider it to be more of like a vibration, but I'd argue that it's a little more intense than that. Fortunately, it really doesn't matter because it's really not that bad and doesn't detract from the whole experience. The seats, however, are something I would like to talk about. Because this coaster is designed for families and, well, younger kids, I found the seat, not the restraint, to be slightly unusual. It felt like it was trying to push me out. I'm sure smaller guests wouldn't have an issue here, but since I'm a taller person, I wasn't really a fan of the seats. Ride smoothness gets a score of 8. Alright, the final score comes to 7.1, which is a good score. Being a family roller coaster, I was very well pleased with Merlin's Mayhem. Coaster enthusiasts should enjoy this all along with the rest of the family. Dutch Wonderland has done a great job with the overall presentation of this ride, which makes the park stand out amongst other smaller family parks. Personally, with the addition of Merlin's Mayhem, Dutch Wonderland is a place worth checking out, especially if you have kids. My final score is going to be a 10. That, of course, is with taking into consideration that this is a family coaster. It obviously doesn't compete with other big coasters like Phantom's Revenge, Phoenix, or Skyrush. It's good in its own class. Maybe in the next year or so, I will head back to Dutch Wonderland with my daughter so we can ride this roller coaster together. Well, thank you for watching today's review. Let me know what you think of Merlin's Mayhem in the comments below. Go check out some of my other reviews, and always please subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content coming your way by XscreamThrills.